Hello, welcome back to the Breaking News Update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from the EU to share with you. We have reports of a new sanctions package that has been announced today and will be implemented on Monday, on February 24th of 2025, and that will be the anniversary of the 3-year war now with Russia and Ukraine. So, new report today, EU agrees on 16th round of sanctions package targeting Russia. You can see here on your screen. European Union ambassadors approved on Wednesday the latest package of sanctions against Russia, banning Russian aluminum imports and imposing new export bans on Moscow. Okay, it also reportedly includes new listings against shadow fleet of vessels which are used to circumvent sanctions, and Russia uses them to transport oil around the world. Export bans on chemicals, chrome, and other products used in precision machine tools, as well as a ban on servicing oil and gas refineries. That was according to two EU diplomats. Okay, so I want to give you guys some more information on the sanctions and talk about this some more, how it's going to affect the Russian economy. And just something to note as well is the EU is doing something completely different from what the US is doing right now. The EU is continuing to put pressure on Vladimir Putin and Russia, put more sanctions on them. We're going to be seeing massive amounts of aid going to Ukraine very soon as well. We're talking in the hundreds of billions potentially. And the U.S. is doing the complete opposite. They're trying to end this war. They're trying to actually work diplomatically with Russia and sever a lot of their broken ties from the past and potentially become partners. Okay, so that's something that interesting that I just wanted to note for you guys before we get into this. So let's go ahead and hop into this update here. We're going to jump over here to a mainstream news article from AP real quick. It says EU envoys approve more sanctions against Russia to mark the third anniversary of its war on Ukraine. All right, so this just coming out today, February 19th, 2025. European Union envoys have approved a new raft of sanctions against Russia, with the measures set to enter into force next week on the third anniversary of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. A top EU official and diplomats confirmed on Wednesday. The move comes with the Europeans sidelined from US-led talks to end the war. The US slapped several rounds of sanctions on Russia since President Vladimir Putin ordered his troops into Ukraine in February 24th, 2022. More than 2,300 officials and entities, usually government agencies, banks, and organizations, have been hit. Diplomats confirmed approval of the sanctions, the 16th package of measures, including travel bans, asset freezes, and trade restrictions, on condition that they not be named. Measures are still not entirely finalized until EU foreign ministers endorse them on Monday, allowing them to enter force. It also says here, among the latest sanctions are measures targeting Russia's so-called shadow fleet of ships that it exploits to skirt restrictions on transporting oil and gas, or to carry stolen Ukrainian grain. Some 70 vessels believed to be part of the shadow fleet will be added to more than 50 already listed. Okay, so another 70 vessels for Russia's shadow fleet that will be added to the list of sanctions. Finally, it says here EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, whose services drafted some of the measures for consideration, welcomed their prospective adoption by the 27 nation bloc's ambassadors. The EU is clamping down even harder on circumvention by targeting more vessels in Putin's shadow fleet and imposing new import and export bans. We are committed to keep up the pressure on the Kremlin, she said in a social media post. Almost 50 Russian officials will be targeted, joining a list that already includes Putin, several of his associates, and scores of lawmakers, while dozens more entities face sanctions. Among the measures are restrictions on 13 Russian banks and 3 financial institutions, the diplomat said. The sanctions would also place restrictions on the use of 11 ports and airports in Russia that the EU considers are being used to help Moscow bypass an oil price cap, and other measures already imposed by the bloc. Trade bans on some chemicals and aluminum are also included. Okay, so we can see here lots of different sectors of Russia's economy being targeted in this 16th package of sanctions. So now we're going to jump on over to X, and I've got another report over here to show you real fast. And this is going to be based on a Financial Times article that came out today. So let's hop on over here to Anton Gerashenko on X. EU envoys agreed on the 16th package of sanctions against Russia, including a ban of primary aluminum imports, sales of gaming consoles and the listing of 73 Shadow Fleet vessels, the Financial Times reports. Okay, so notice this right here, sale of gaming consoles. Okay, and people are probably wondering, if you have not heard me talk about this in the recent past, why would the EU restrict sales of gaming consoles to Russia? Well, apparently, they utilize these to use them for the drones that they use to attack Ukraine with. Even some of the parts that are inside of these gaming consoles, they use them for lots of military equipment. So these are being directly used for the Russian military. That's why they're restricting the sales of gaming consoles to Russia. So it says here, reportedly the package will officially be adopted on Monday. It will be 3 years on the full-scale war on that day. The aluminum import ban will be phased in a year from the official adoption of the package, which also adds 48 individuals and 35 entities to its sanctions list. That includes asset freezes and a travel ban. In addition to the vessels, the envoys agreed to prohibit transactions with ports and airports in Russia used to circumvent the Group of Seven price cap on Russian oil. Newly sanctioned ships will be added to already listed 79 ships, mainly tankers used by Russia to sell oil outside the price cap, or vessels that help in Moscow's war effort, such as shipping ammunition from North Korea. Okay, so they're even trying to prevent ammo being shipped from North Korea, as we know North Korea is working heavily with the Russians right now. Sales of video game consoles, joysticks, and flight simulators would be also restricted, as they could be used by Russia's military to control drones. The sanctions also target 13 more banks. Other bans include exports of coronium, certain chemicals, as well as a service ban for oil and gas refineries. Okay, so this was the report that came out from the Financial Times today. EU agrees new Russia sanctions package. Move takes aim at the country's aluminum industry and further tightens restrictions on its oil exports. Okay, so more damage to Russia's economy after these sanctions get announced here on Monday, on the 24th. And again, that being a very symbolic date, because this would be the third year of full-scale war between Russia and Ukraine. But just wanted to give you guys some of the updates coming out regarding these sanctions packages, or the sanction package, the 16th one coming from the EU that will be announced and implemented on Monday. Okay, so let me know what you think about all these details down below in the comment section. But that's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell, that way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.